All right, we've been out for a while, but now we're back. Back with a new old movie that's almost 30 years. And of course, we're talking about 12 Monkeys, not the 12 Monkeys TV show that they had back in 2015. I don't know if you know this, but they made a 12 Monkeys TV series back in 2015, but I don't know
Oh,
on
I
what
just.
platform. What?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you even watch any of it?
I did not because I didn't know what it was about. Like this was at the
Wasn't it good?
time. I don't know. This was at a time when they made Lethal Weapon into a TV show. They made this movie into a TV show, and several
Oh,
other movies
yeah.
that actually came into TV series. I didn't watch any one of those. I mean, I didn't know how popular that was back then, though. Like, remember when Terminator Salvation? I mean,
Oh,
was
okay.
it
That was.
Terminator something with Sarah Connor Chronicles when they made everything into a TV show? Yeah,
Yeah, it was this. Yeah, it was the Sarah Connor
it was a Sarah Connor
Chronicles.
one, right? Like, I mean, like, I think you and
Yeah, I
I
didn't even
trying
watch
to
that.
watch it before. Or was it me and Cody? I
Yeah,
can't
it was just Sarah
remember.
Connor.
Yeah, we watched a little bit of it.
We didn't. I didn't watch it at all. It was you. It had to be you and Cody. It was Cody because Cody told me about it. I remember even Cody was telling me what was
Ah,
going on in it, so I didn't watch it at all.
but for 12 Monkeys, is this your first time watching this film? Is this your first time?
Yeah, this is my first time watching this.
Oh, what did you
Yeah,
think?
I mean,
I mean,
it's
that's
okay.
oh,
It's okay. That's all you're gonna get from me. It was okay. I mean, it
from
wasn't.
like
It
today's
wasn't. It was.
standards, or like, would you think you liked it better if you watched
If I
this back in
if I would have
'95?
watched it, if I would have watched it, and when it came out, I would have
Uh huh.
liked it.
Oh,
But
see,
with all the stuff that I've seen since then, uh, in the art direction you see, and all the stuff that is going on past then, yeah, I just my heart wasn't into it. It wasn't a bad movie at all. It's just I guess I had more higher expectations of it because at the time it come out, people were like, "Oh, this was such a great time travel movie." I was like,
at the
now
time,
the time
yes,
travels, yeah, the time travel on it to me was nothing exceptional.
nothing exceptional. See, how do we
Yeah.
get out of that funk? Like, we can't enjoy an old movie, but at that time, it was so good.
Okay, the only way we're gonna get out of that funk is if Christopher Nolan makes a time travel movie. I guess I don't know.
Oh no, well, I'm not. Well, hold on. I don't want to say like just like a different director doing the same movie, right? I'm talking about like
Oh no, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want this remade. I don't want anybody to remake this. This is not really worth
oh
remaking in a
no no no,
way.
I'm not talking about this movie. Like, how do we get out of that funk where like, well, it's not really fair to us watching. Let's just say it was you and I's first time watching 12 Monkeys, okay? How is it
Okay,
fair that
how to elevate this movie?
yeah? How
How
do you
to
elevate
elevate
this
this
to a
movie?
movie? Like because from the age
I
we are
can't really
now,
elevate this.
no, from the age
Yeah,
we are
well, like I
now,
said
right?
though,
Is it fair to 12 Monkeys that like, hey, because I watched it in
but
2024.
come on.
Uh,
Okay, well, let me put it this way. All right, let's see. Even if I was to go back when this come out
okay.
and watch this movie still be no Back to the Future. I mean,
That's another.
if anything,
Oh,
I'd still
that's
be
one of my
if
prime
even
examples, though.
if I was watching back then and where they do this show now with me watching it again, I'd still be able to tear this movie up.
Back in '96, if we were watching
There's,
back
there
in
was,
'95.
yeah, there wasn't. It was kind of like a waste of time. The movie was kind of a waste of time in a way for him. I mean, the movie was a waste of time. I
Okay.
watched it; it was good. I liked it. It had a good story. I mean, you kind of knew that the little kid watching him die, that was him dying, because it keeps showing. Oh, you knew it. He comes back and gets killed. Okay,
Uh huh.
that was not really a big secret. Even though they try to dress him up like somebody else, I was like, I already know that's you dying. Your little
Oh,
self is seeing yourself die.
so you were able to
You
tell, but
know,
then
because I mean, because
look
well, because
ahead.
you see the woman running after him. You already kind of got an idea who the woman is running after him.
Oh, I don't know because I watched it
Yeah, I don't
several
have that.
times.
It's
I can't quite
yeah.
remember the first time I watched it.
Well,
Like,
then
but
maybe
I
we
know
should
it's
ask
Bruce
you. What do you
Willis.
think? What do you think about it? I mean, this
So
time you watched it just now. What's your impression of it today, right
it's
now?
not as good as when I first watched it. I think it's the same thing that you pointed out. Is because all the things that I know now compared to what I knew back in
Yeah, I think
95,
seen. Plus,
96. Because I saw this in the theater.
I don't know why. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, good. That's better than I did.
Yeah.
I
Because I
didn't
was
even make
working
it
at the
to the
theater.
theater.
Yeah, I was working at the theater at this time,
Oh,
so
okay.
that's why. Yeah. So I thought it was really good because it was
Well, I
the.
mean, was it mind blowing to you when you saw it
It
though,
wasn't mind
or
blowing
not
because I
really?
like time travel, right? It's not as
Yeah.
mind blowing
Well,
as
that's what I'm saying. You like time
Sixth
travel,
Sense.
so when it
I did like
okay,
that
yeah. Well,
they didn't
that's the
try to
problem,
change
but you
the
can't really
future.
compare this.
Like they didn't try
Well,
to
see,
send
that's
him
probably the
back to
problem
change the
too.
future. They're just trying to find what
Yeah,
the current can be, which I like that aspect instead of like, hey,
yeah,
trying to
that's all
change
they want to
whatever.
do.
Yep. So how
But
do
the
we
whole thing,
solve
yeah, the
this
whole point of the
now?
movies, the whole point of the movies, they keep sending back in time to figure out how to fix their present. But the
Yes.
problem is we never see them fix their present.
No. They
All we do is
they
see where
kind of give
all
you
we
a
do is see
clue,
how the
right?
disease spread.
Yes. Did you know that like
Yeah, the whole thing is
the 12 monkey was the
go
MacGuffin,
ahead.
right? It has nothing to do with the
Yeah, well,
disease.
I didn't know it at first. Yeah, it has nothing
Oh.
to do with the disease at all. But I
Did
kind of got the idea when you see that guy, when you see that scientist,
yeah, the creepy
this
guy.
it's got the disease, and they goes, "Oh, you got to lock my son out," and all this stuff. And that guy's like, you see the look on his face. It's like, this is the guy right here.
It is the guy,
And then
but
of course it shows he is. Then of course it is the guy because he's going through the
so since you
metal
brought up Back
detectors.
to the Future, right? I want to bring this movie to the light where like, hey, they did the kind of thing like you can't really change the past, and I think this movie kind of showed that, and that's why they use that element to just get information to solve the now in the 12 Monkeys series instead of like
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to
Well,
kill
yeah.
the
The whole point of the
scientists.
story.
Did you
Yeah,
think
well, the
that
whole
was
point of
what
the
they were
story.
trying
Yeah,
to
he
do
tries to
first?
stop him. Oh no! Well, they only said they only wanted disease at the first of the movie.
So
The only
who
reason
gave
they
him the
picked him because
gun?
he could remember stuff when he comes back.
Ah,
They just gave him the gun just for fun.
really? Oh, just to
Because the
try
thing
and
is, you
kill
can't
him.
really die. Well, you gotta think you really can't die. And wait, was it going to kill him? Because this past don't matter. Because he's going into because in a way maybe they're going in alternate realities. They're just creating alternate realities by going back.
That was something not. No, at that time we didn't think about that. I think that's what made this movie not as good because we think about the
Well,
alternate
yeah. Because see, the
realities
thing
now.
is, no matter well, that's the thing. Like I said, though, nothing matters as they're going back in time. They're not affecting nothing. I mean, they're
No,
affecting the time realities they go back into because obviously that professor she sees that guy that dies in World War I,
right.
and then she realizes, the 12 Monkeys man is in the background. But the thing is that guy that dies in the isn't that the guy that dies in the trenches? Isn't that the one that came back and handed him the pistol? Because
Yeah,
he's
the
the guy
Jose guy,
shared the
right?
cell with him at the very first of the movie.
Oh yeah. Jose or whatever his name was. Yeah.
Yeah, because he could die. You're not going to die. I mean, you're not really. You're coming back to the past. So if you do die in the past, you'll just start over.
Ooh.
Because I mean, there'll be another Bruce Willis there in the present, wherever that is. I mean, basically, it's like
Oh,
here's your gun. Here, you can go kill the guy because you went ahead and solved who found it. Now we just got to hunt that guy down and figure out what the deal is.
you made
So they
this
know
very
where to go to
confused
get
to me.
go to find the virus now. But
Wow.
they're like, here, just while you're here, it's because the problem is it's like vacation for them. They travel to the past for vacation. You can go back there and do whatever you want.
Oh, that's a interesting point. Like, if
But
I
this
don't
is
care about
also
alternate
this is also the thing. You got
realities,
also,
you know, if
but
I
you
don't,
also remember they used several other people though.
they did.
But the thing is, you got to think this future that this present time that we see. If
Hmm.
it's using Bruce Willis and Bruce Willis already saw himself get murdered as a future, then they're on alternate time too.
But then they only show that one timeline for whatever Bruce Willis see. They don't show you the other ones that they created, just like any of the movies. Like Back to the
Yeah.
Future,
Well,
they
it's
don't
like
show any
it's no,
alternate realities.
it's like alternative. It's not just all this. They don't show you this. You got to think about it. This is like Terminator. It all had to start somewhere with somebody else.
Yes,
Kyle
we have
Reese couldn't. Kyle Reese wasn't the first dad of John
John
Connor.
Connor.
Somebody else had to be.
Yes.
It wasn't until you get sent back then in the alternate realities that
Then
they've created.
yeah.
Because they
So
just keep
yeah.
calling.
So we talk about
Yeah,
this. Kyle Reese has two dads. Kyle Reese have the original before. I'm sorry. John Connor has Kyle Reese is dad number two. This is
Yeah, he's dad number two. Somebody else had to be the dad number one.
whoever the dad
But it
number
could have
one
been a guy.
was.
But it could have been a guy from the future. It had to be somebody from his own time to begin
It
with.
couldn't, but yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't have gotten into that paradox.
Oh my gosh.
So this thing, they're looking for a cure, but could they ever find the cure? Because the problem is, every time they change the alternate, they're changing the alternate deal. He's coming back with different future. I mean, different information.
Well, I'm just gonna assume that all these.
But it
people
depends
have
on how
time
their
travel
system
GPS.
works.
I'm assuming
They gotta
even
have
Back to
time
the
travel
Future.
GPS because they keep bringing them up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
The,
assume
the
everybody
funny
have
thing is the
travel
time travel
GPS.
deal is like they don't even focus on the time travel deal. But you got to
No,
think they didn't even focus on the time machine. All they do is push him into a wall. They throw him in a wall, and it's like, phew, you're in time now.
Yeah, like
And
whatever.
they never show you how he comes
thing,
back
yeah.
out of it.
Yeah, it's kind of like the
He
Matrix,
just kind of,
right?
they just bring
They
him
just
back out.
disappears. It remind me of a long time when you told me of like maybe people's been time traveling. Like I think you told me like this couple was driving in the 1950s or whatever, right? And this guy from the 1800s came through their road or something.
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah, they come out and they find some guy from the way past, but he
Yes.
kind of traveled forward. So basically, he just got stuck somewhere and come back out. That's time travel in the future is not a big deal. That's possible. I believe in it. You could freeze. You could time travel to the future several different ways. Because basically, the time travel in the future, you're just stopping you. Or actually, you're not stopping you. You're slowing yourself down while the rest of the time moves at its regular pace.
Yep.
Yeah, it moves at its regular pace. You got to remember, time never moves quicker than it can. So if time moves at its regular pace, and you're moving so slow that it seems like you're stopped, and then you snap out of it, and there you are. But the time travel back, how can you? I mean, really, honestly, you could time travel forward and future, and people could probably invent a way to slow you down so you could jump out, freeze dry you, thaw you out, send you to space, all kinds of hundreds of ways you could probably do that because it does that. I mean, if I sat in a room by myself, wait an hour, come out, I time travel an hour in the future, even though I waited that whole hour to come out. It's kind of silly.
Cannot go back.
Now, how can you not go back? Because there's going to be a spot for you to go in. Because like if you go back, you're going to have to create an alternate reality. Because you already know there is no me jumping back 10. You never see me 10 years ago.
Yeah. So
even if I would, and let's say 5 minutes from now, if I was to get in a machine and travel 10 years backwards, you won't ever see you. You'll know that you never saw me because I never ended up in your reality.
So hold on, let me get some rulers if I have enough rulers. Remember the time travel idea I talked to you about a long time ago? So let's just say I'll
have to go back in time to see that.
Okay, so remember I drew like these lines. I just say this is one person's timeline, this whole ruler, okay? And then an alternate reality, right? This is another timeline. So these are not side by side, right? These are another timeline. So for me to jump to
anywhere.
It could be anywhere. So I'm saying that like you don't really.
But
go
it's not
back
really an
in
alternate.
time. No.
It's not an alternate reality.
No, it's not an alternate time. It's just a different timeline somewhere. So I'm
exactly. Well, you can't even say that yet, actually.
But yeah. So what I'm thinking is like this person actually jumped through plane. So it's not really going back in time, right? It's go to a different timeline. It's just at the beginning of this one while you still exist here.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Yeah.
But see, that second ruler doesn't exist until you time travel.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're making another ruler.
Yeah, making another ruler. Yes, thank you.
So
I see
why. The way I see it. So once you jump on that other ruler, once you jump on that ruler, you can do whatever you want, really.
Yeah. Let's just say if I keep jumping rulers,
I don't care what Dr. Brown says.
Yeah. See, it's not really going back in time.
Create more trouble.
Going through the planes to however the timelines are. Yep.
And then of course the temporal authority is going to have to find you and arrest you and destroy that timeline
until we get your season Loki season 2, which you still haven't seen, huh?
Well, also in Star Trek they have the temporal authority. Yeah, in Star Trek they also have temporal police too.
Oh, they do, to stop people from creating timelines.
So that's long before Loki, and that is the enforced timeline enforcement. Since people travel back in time, they said the biggest offender was James T. Kirk. But hey,
of course, right?
You time travel. Who wouldn't?
It's got to be Captain Kirk. All right, so there's another thing I want to ask you. Did you think that's how they track them time? How they track their prisoners is by their teeth? Like how much truth do you think they add to that, or that's something that just the prisoners thought like that's how they find them? Because he keep running into that old crazy guy, right? Like even in his own timeline and in
Oh,
the
well,
past.
maybe that was just craziness. I didn't get that. That was just
Yeah,
something
I didn't get that either.
to
I was
make any
going to see
sense
what
of.
you thought about it. You know, the thing with the tooth, like, dude, what the heck? Because they thought it was true, then they pull it out and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was a lie because he pulled his teeth out and they still found him.
Yeah, I
So
did.
it was just some craziness. Because you got to think a lot of that information seemed to get jumbled up to him. Because remember when he hears that voicemail from the doctor in the future,
Oh yes, that steam
and
cleaning
then
company.
it didn't make any sense until he comes back and then he sees it again. Same thing with several
Oh,
other things he sees. He sees like something on the window. It made sense to him at the point, but then when he comes back, oh, that didn't make sense at all.
oh, that's really good. I like that Brad Pitt's character in this movie. He's like, dude, that everything would have happened the same if he did not meet him at all. Because they just a radical group about pharmaceutical
Well, I don't know. That's
companies,
the
but
thing.
like,
See,
oh,
yeah, well, they make it seem like he's created, but somebody had to create it. For all we know, in another dimension or another reality further in time, maybe the 12 monkeys did release the
oh,
virus.
but it's because he went back. It gave the idea to the
Yeah, he
scientists.
moved it. He gave instead gave it to the scientists. Maybe the kid Willett did steal the stuff and released it. So
So,
now,
I feel
but the
like
thing
this
is, if they're
monkey. I
trying to
mean, like,
narrow,
I feel like this movie, right, is kind of like Terminator Genesis because they went back to so many times. This is one of those times we're seeing this movie as in
well,
Bruce Willis Cole went back and now the scientists got the idea instead of the 12 monkeys.
what if the 12 monkeys are the 12? Because you know what a monkey, go, oh, somebody went around and monkeyed around with something.
Yeah.
What if the 12 monkeys is Bruce Willis and all the little people going back in time trying to find this problem, and they're the ones making
Oh,
the
like
problems?
he's the number 12.
He's the 12th monkey
Because
that
they did
messed
talk
this
about
up.
people who volunteer and never comes back, but I thought it was because they go up above the ground, they see bears and stuff, and then they get killed. You know, I did think about
Yeah.
every time I see that shirt, right, when they say the animals like bumper sticker, like, oh, they were here first. It reminds me of this movie. Because like, oh, animals
Oh,
supposed to
really?
roam the planet before humans took it all over. Like, yeah, that's what called evolution. We weren't on top of the food chain until we are now. But then this would be crazy
Yeah,
because
I don't know. I'd
what?
say mankind's been pretty much on top of the food chain for quite some time.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty
yeah.
much. Because since man has been like us, they've killed almost everything, including all the other creatures that look like us.
All the other creatures look like us. Well, not all of it yet. Oh, there's still a lot
Well,
of
let's say
monkeys
if you
around.
believe in ever. Well, no, if you, I'm not talking about monkeys.
Oh,
Monkeys, the
what
lower
did you
life
mean
form. I'm
by?
talking about what was it? The other, like the caveman looking guys.
Oh,
We
uh,
wiped them out.
so that's another group of humans that wiped out a
Most of us
previous group of
aren't even
humans.
descended from them. There's a whole bunch. They think there's probably more than all types of humans. Because remember the ones with the big cranial skull? What do they call them? Homo, or what are they?
Oh, Homo sapiens.
Something. I think we're Homo sapiens. They had
Oh,
something else.
you talking about a
But
different? Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, I don't know the term, but
what
I
do they
know what you're
call them?
referring
I
to.
can't even think of the name at the moment. Like you see on the Geico commercial.
Yes. Oh,
Those
those are
people,
the yeah. Those are the
yeah, they
things.
exist. Those aren't really us. We didn't evolve from them either. They think
Huh.
they mix with some humans, and we got some of their genes. Some people in our line, some of us don't even have their genes at all.
So we created it like every
We
time.
wiped
I
them
guess
out.
mix
Yeah, we wiped.
waste or something
Oh, we
cultures,
wiped them out.
but we keep
Yeah,
like
we
another
wiped them
set of
out.
smaller humans came forth before the
Well, there
Geicos
was
people.
us. Eventually, we showed up. Yeah, well, they were around when we were around. We wiped them
Oh,
out.
I'm
We
not.
wiped out probably a lot of
I'm
things.
not well versed in that kind of history or the scientific history. In that,
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I
Uh,
learned from you.
you ought to read it. It's pretty interesting.
Oh, I find it interesting from you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
I'm
well, they
surprised
exist at the
it's not
same
a
time we
movie
did at
about
one
this.
point in time. Yeah. Well, a lot of people.
Planet
Well,
of
a
the
lot of
Apes.
people thought that those people we evolved from them, but it turns out. Now that they've studied, it turns out we didn't evolve from them. They're a whole nother offshoot. They could mix with us,
They
but we
can
didn't
mix with
evolve
us.
from them. We just
Wow.
wiped them out.
I wonder.
Yeah.
So, how come we can see
So
those
yeah, we wiped. There's
cavemen?
probably no telling
So
what kind of
where's our version of
creatures
the
we wiped
caveman
out.
come from? Humans. Like, what? I didn't, I would like to see
You
an
mean our
example
version? Our
wiping
version of
those.
cavemen look like us.
Our version came in look like
Our
us.
version, our version of the caveman looked like us. Yeah. I mean, we eventually came out of somewhere.
I wonder how tall those Geico cavemen are. What is their average height? Like 4 or 5 feet?
I don't know.
Maybe they got wiped out because we were much taller.
I mean, I mean, I'm just using them as an example. They're not really what they probably really truly look like.
Yeah, you're right too. It's just what we can gather from the fossils that we found.
That's the Geico commercial, but
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
yeah, from things we found in the past.
I did
I
like
mean, you got to think a lot of life, unless it got fossilized, we don't know what it looks like.
that is true. Maybe that's one
Yeah,
like
I mean, there's probably
maybe
a lot of things that would never. Yeah, there's probably a lot of things that were never fossilized, so we'll never find it because we don't even know the oldest humans we know of us. We can get their DNA is because they got frozen or fossilized,
ah
or buried in such a nice way or preserved by no way by early humans. But other than that, we don't know how far we'll go back because we have to find something that represents our DNA farther back, and maybe we
interesting.
haven't gone far enough into the earth to find it yet.
Hmm. Okay. Hey, so one of the things I really like in this movie, right? Well, other than the time travel aspect, I did like that when they pulled a bullet out of coal. They found it was an
Oh yeah.
antique from World War I. That's when I think they were speaking French, but I didn't know what World War they were in when they were in that scene.
Oh,
You
okay.
don't find out
It was
until
World War
later.
One.
Yeah, because they were speaking French and
Yeah.
stuff. Well, but then they could be
Oh,
speaking
okay.
French in World War Two
I
too.
said,
Like when you first watch it, I didn't
uh,
know which war was it in.
but they didn't have trench warfare in World
Oh,
War
in World War
Two.
Two? Oh, just the first one. Ah, okay. I don't know.
Yeah, well, by the scene, you should have been able to know that was World War One.
Hmm.
I mean, come on, they're speaking French. They're in the trenches. That's World War One.
Huh. Okay.
Plus the rifles and the uniforms.
Oh, that's right. The uniforms was a good giveaway. And the other thing
Yeah,
I
it was a
was
very
interesting,
good
I
gift.
find that I like from this movie, right? Because
Plus he's naked, kind of like
oh,
Terminator.
kind of like Terminator. So the other couple of things I do like, because Coast from the future, he didn't know what a Rolodex was. I love that in the theater. He's like, hey, what the hell is this? Because that's something that you wouldn't think that like, hey, this we don't have something like this, and if we probably don't even use a Rolodex
Let me
today,
tell
it's
you.
like keeping
Let me tell you.
recipes on index cards.
No, there's gonna be a lot of people that don't know what a Rolodex is today.
Oh, today, of course,
I
I'm not
mean,
even sure Heather know what
why
one
would
is.
you? Why would you write phone numbers down? Yeah, why would you write phone numbers down on a Rolodex? It's all your
My
phone.
dad still keep like a little phone book in his wallet, like a little, yeah, like he writes down people's phone
Oh yeah,
numbers, and yeah,
yeah. How old is your dad? Yeah, how old is your dad?
he'll be 79. He'll be
The
80
sad
this year.
the sad thing is here's your dad's mentality though. He goes, if you lose your phone, then I still got your phone number. But if you lose your phone, you'll never have my phone number. You're dumb. That's what I was thinking.
Well, it's saved to my Google contacts, so like it's the
Oh,
digital way
okay,
of writing
okay.
stuff
Now,
down.
well, that is your that book is your dad's Google contacts,
That
and
is, yes,
he he don't need anybody else to find it for him. He knows where it's stored.
yeah, it's in his wallet.
Oh, it's in my wallet.
The other thing I like is the music stuff. When the first time he listened to music, hey, what is that? That's how he find it really interesting because like, he never heard music before. No,
Oh,
he
he
has,
had heard.
but he has forgotten about music because the state
Oh yeah,
that
because they
humans
don't
are
have it.
now. Yeah,
Yeah, they don't have it in that funky prison that wherever way wears clear plastic bags. That
because
did you
germs,
see
right?
that? That's I guess it's supposed to be because of germs. But come
Yep.
on, even today we don't wear clear plastic over everything.
Well, yeah, because we're not in that
It's
state
this.
from 12
It's
Monkeys where
like
the air could be bad.
oh, bull! Everybody there's it's like shower curtains everywhere. They used a whole bunch of shower curtains on everything. And people take
Yeah,
all their clothes off over this and that. I'm just like,
but this is
this is
what.
very 90s. Oh, this is so 90s. The future in that looks so 90s. I mean,
Oh yeah,
and they were
because
supposed
this
to be
was
like
made in the
not.
90s.
And I guess yeah. And the thing is, it's like in their future, everything got worse. All the cities were getting worse and worse and worse,
Because of the
which is funny
virus.
because nowadays, yeah, well, no, because it before '96, before the virus came out, everything was getting worse. It's like all the towns they went to, look how rough they were.
Hmm. I thought this made good at that time because like they went back to 96 and 1990 or 91 when the first time the phone call didn't work about to leave a
Yeah,
message. I
yeah.
thought that
But
was good. I
like
mean, like
I'm
you
trying
couldn't
to
think
get
the
to
future.
when me and you lived here in the United States in '96. All those towns weren't that bad.
I guess not.
Get what I'm saying? Oh, no, they're all falling apart and going up all the way. And I'm like, look at the future. The future doesn't look anything like that. Even in '96, so that movie was before then. They're trying
I am
to show you that the world is decaying, and it wasn't.
one of the
See,
things I
all future
noticed.
movies, the world decays so bad, but it really doesn't ever get that bad. It gets better.
One of the things I think about when I'm driving, right? Like when they show movies in the future, and I'm thinking like, are there any traffic construction in the future, or or once we get there, everything is finally done?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question
You
because
know,
you think about that too. But in the movies, you never see that. You're
no.
right.
In movies, you only see traffic construction when there's a need for it. Like if someone needs to get in a jam, right? They'll show you traffic construction. Otherwise, everything is flowing smooth. That's
Yeah,
what I thought
everything's
about the
smooth.
other day. That's what eventually everything's gonna be done, right? Maybe not in our lifetime,
I don't
but
know.
eventually everything, all the roads will be done.
I don't know. Yeah, probably not in our lifetime because everything was started before we were born.
Oh, I do like that. So at the end of 12 Monkeys, do you think the lady's there to kill him or she's there to find out about the virus? Like one of the scientist lady that was sent Cole back to the past. She was there at the flight.
That scientist lady wasn't sit. That's the lady. That's okay. That's the scientist lady
Yeah.
wasn't sit back from the past. That was her then.
You think that was her then? She
That
looked
was
like the
her
same
then.
age. Hold on. Okay, so I was confused. I thought she was the same age from whatever. Like from that time,
No,
whatever. They never said what the time,
she
right?
she wasn't even a scientist. She wasn't even a scientist yet. She had a regular job. You got to remember, Bruce Willis did. Bruce Willis shows us as a kid. I mean, you're not going to change. Yeah, I mean, from a kid to an adult, you're going to change a lot. But as an adult, probably not going to change all that much.
How old do you think Bruce Willis, adult Cole compared to young Cole? How
Well,
old do you?
I don't know, because you got to remember, Bruce Willis, he always gets younger, even though he looks old. He's always played like he's 20. He's like he could be in his 40s, and he's supposed to be like he's 20. I'm like, dude, he don't even look 20, but we're
So
supposed to
let's just
think
say
he's in
he's
his 20s.
35 in that movie. How old was the kid version of Cole? He was like 11 or
I
12,
think he
right?
was like 12.
Okay, 11
Yeah, I
to
think he was like
11 or
11 or
12.
12.
So let's just say it was like 20 years past. You think that? So
Yeah,
you think
but
that was a younger version of
that
that
lady was
scientist
older.
lady?
Yeah, I think it was a younger version
Oh,
of the
I thought
scientist
she
lady, and she
came
wasn't a
back to.
scientist yet.
I thought she came back to the past. I thought she came
I
back to
don't
the
know. I didn't
past.
think about that. I
So
don't
you
know. That's a
thought,
good deal. I didn't ever think about it. I just thought it was just showing her on a plane before everything went down, and then she
oh
eventually
no,
becomes a scientist.
I think they actually were able to use Cole to get like okay now Cole actually find out what started it. It wasn't the 12 monkeys because
Oh,
he
okay.
said he
And
said
so
that to
she's gonna get on
Jose.
the
It's not
plane
the
and
army
look.
of the 12 monkeys. So she went back.
Okay, we know that, but of course it's not the army of the 12 monkeys. They already changed everything.
That's what we like to believe. You're right.
I don't know. Maybe we're gonna have to go watch the movie again. I don't really want to
I
though.
swear that lady was the same age as the future, I guess, present Cole for
I
this
don't
movie.
know. I don't think she
96 is the
was.
past.
Yeah, '96 is the past. It's when it started, or a year before it started,
So
right? Because it started in '97. So you think it's the
yeah,
scientist lady? She traveled back,
she
and she's
traveled
going to
back
look at
because
that.
Cole failed from
She's
killing the guy. So because they know where
he
she's
didn't
gonna
fail
sit.
from. Well, here, okay. Let me point at this. He did not fail from killing a guy because they didn't want him to kill the guy.
Okay,
It wouldn't have
that's why
mattered
I'm
if he would have killed
confused.
the guy. That's the thing. It wouldn't have mattered if he killed the guy or not. They just gave him the gun and like, here, this is the guy. I mean, this is guy. It's not going to change anything. So you just shoot him because you're in an alternate reality, anyways. It's never going to. It's not
So
going to
you think
stop
they
this from
give him the
happening.
gun so that he would be killed? Like Cole
His
would be.
friend, his friend gave him the gun. He said, "Hey, how would you like to live out your fantasies?"
Oh
Because it's
wow.
not going to affect anything. Because if it kills him, all they do is travel back in time and go talk to the guy. Nothing happens is going to affect it. It happens anyways.
It happens anyway.
Yeah, it happens anyways. He wasn't gonna be able to kill him and
So
stop
it could
this.
be like a little bit like Minority Report, where you like he already knows the future, but he's still going to go through that plan, right? He dreams about it, like, oh, I've seen this
Yeah,
before, and then it's actually happening. It's the ultimate deja vu scenario. That's not even a glitch in the Matrix. This is really happening. Like, it's kind of like
okay.
Back to the Future. Like, I know my parents' history, but I'm the one who
Yeah.
created that
Well,
history
I
that they
mean,
tell me.
yeah, well, I don't know because look, let's put it. Like, if it's alternate realities, the problem is it wouldn't solve the original problem. They send him back in time to find a certain deal.
Okay.
They're worried about themselves. They don't care about him going to this alternate timeline and killing anybody. They don't give a crap about that. They just want to know where it's at so they can go back and look at the stuff and get their stuff
Just get, yeah,
because they
get
don't
the
care.
whatever.
Because if he was to kill that guy, then that whole timeline erases. He can go and live through this whole time with
Right,
that
but then
lady.
that's what this movie is about. It's just
But
about
those
getting
other people,
information.
but those other people in that timeline that sent him back, they still got to have a cure.
Yep. They still have to be clear about
I
it's
mean,
about the
him
now.
because that's what we're saying. Him killing that guy doesn't affect them getting a
No,
cure one way or the other
because
because they still got a whole
their
Earth that's
future,
messed up.
their present
Yeah,
doesn't change from the past. They're still living that, yeah.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
well,
So
this is what we
it's
brought to
like
the table
basically
from
they're
what we
going
know
back. They
today,
must have a
though.
GPS, like you said, and they're just going
That's
back
what
to
I'm saying.
various times,
From
and they don't give a crap.
all the other movies we bought, they already have this time travel GPS. It's just that we weren't
Yeah,
brought that attention until
but
2018
the
Endgame.
problem is a certain timeline still wants the cure.
Yeah, certain timelines still wants to curse, so it doesn't matter
See,
if he kills him or not.
it's like that's where it's like Terminator. Terminator's got all these timelines, but Terminator timelines don't seem to care. Those robots don't care that they've already created 100 timelines where they get beat.
Yep. So
So
it
it's
shouldn't
a
really
waste.
matter.
Time travel
You know what?
backwards means you're going
Terminator's
to create a
stupid now. They
timeline.
should be able to
Yeah, so
calculate like, hey, this is not working out. So eventually we will extinct.
this would
We're
never.
not
They should have
accepting
known
that
it would
fact.
never work out for them in this timeline.
But you know what? Then those robots are pretty stupid.
But again, maybe the machines, the way they see it is, they want a timeline where they do win
So
because
it's
they're
like,
machines.
so it's
So what does it
the
matter?
Terminator's Endgame. One of these timelines we will win.
Yeah, eventually they'll just keep going, and eventually the timeline they'll win, and because they're machines, so they really don't care if it kills them in this timeline or another timeline.
Hmm.
Eventually, you know, because they're machines, they're not living organisms. They what do they care?
Yeah.
They're just gonna go because they want to do something. They have a goal probably. They were probably programmed to fix Earth and keep stop all wars and stuff. The way they say it, to stop all wars, we have to get rid of all humans. So we'll get rid of all humans, no matter if it's in this timeline or another timeline.
Okay, so with the Terminator talk and everything, right? My first question is like, hey, we always say time travel is impossible, like not the way that you
Well,
see in movies. The way they like you talking about traveling to
yeah,
the
time
past.
travel backwards is
What
impossible.
if,
That's what we're gonna
like
say.
you said before, what if some of the crazy people we see in the net house, all the result of time travel is like they jump to the future from their timeline to us, like 1800s to 2024.
Yeah,
What
you mean
if
they drop
that's
from
the
the past to the
case?
future?
Yeah, from our past to our current to the future for them.
Yeah,
Gosh. Like what? How
right.
crazy would that be? We
What
we
they
would
can?
always think that they're crazy, kind of like this movie,
Well,
right? We think
well,
they're.
that's the problem though. They want to.
That's what problem.
Yeah, like you said, if somebody comes from the past to the future, what does it matter?
I don't know.
You're gonna be crazy
Well, we
because you're not
think
gonna be
they're
able to
crazy,
explain
but they are
anything.
totally sane because what is her name? Madeline
Well,
Stowe.
like I said,
She thought he was sane, and she stopped
yeah,
believing him. I thought that was one of the funniest thing. Like when they start to
yeah,
change their mind, like Cole start to think he's crazy, but then he's the one that's actually coming back from the future, and then she's
yeah.
like,
But that's because
she
he
thought he
come
was
from the
crazy, and
future.
now it's like, oh my god, this guy is right. Like what the heck?
Yeah, but the problem is somebody comes from the future, they should be able to tell you what's about to happen.
If that is something from the future, they should be able to tell you about what's gonna happen. Well, he
Yeah,
did.
an airplane's going. Yeah, he did.
He
And
talked
the
about the
movie he
kid that
did.
was a prank.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty
it
good.
fell
Like,
down the
oh,
well.
I felt bad for the kid, and then it was just a prank. He's in a stupid barn, That was really good. It's not like It's one of the things that we would like to see that would improve me, whatever, and then they do it so casually. Is that nothing to do with the main plot of the line? It's just a line they throw out there, a scenario that they shot, so that way she would believe him. Remember, he said like, oh, I remember feeling bad for that kid because they couldn't find him because the news was all covering that stuff. Imagine.
But you got to remember, he lived, but he was a kid at that time.
Yes, he was. He was that 12-year-old at that time. Oh, no, even younger because it happened in 90s, yeah. Or I can't remember which timeline now. I'm so
No,
confused.
it happened. Yeah, it happened.
95, 96 or whatever.
Yeah, he'd been younger, so. Or he heard the story about it. I mean, it would have been in the news at one time.
I mean, like, people always try to ask about, like, well, if you're from the future, what is tomorrow's lottery number? Like, well, I'm not going to know that. Like, ask me something like, who's the next president? Oh, they did that in Back to the Future. Ronald Reagan.
Yeah. Well, you could do that. Yeah. You'd be able to do more like that, or tell them about a major disaster.
Yeah, major disaster, right? Like, it would... If I go back in time, right before JFK is about to die, and I tell him like, hey, he got shot at this time or where, then they're gonna lock me up because they think I'm part of the conspiracy. Like anytime he's like anything you prove history that's supposed to
they probably wouldn't believe you though.
No one's going to. That's why I asked that question.
Well, the problem is nobody's gonna stop it. Nobody's gonna stop it.
They're gonna put me in a mental institute.
They wouldn't believe you.
That's why, like, the nut house, like, what if all these crazy people, like, how much are we paying attention to, like, well, this guy say he's from the future. How much time should we want to spend on this study, like, to prove, like, he's wrong, he's right?
You're not going to.
No one is.
You're probably not going to.
No, because we just think like, oh, once we stamp that crazy approval, right? It's crazy for life. No one can prove like if
you. But a lot of those people are.
We better not talk to anybody if we come from a different time. It's just like I'm just here hanging out, getting me a McWick sandwich. That's all.
Let me put it this way. Exactly. If I come back to time, I'm not telling. Why would I tell anybody?
I'm just here to do that. I'm here on vacation.
Because it won't benefit you.
No.
It'll just put you in a nut house. So you might as well just make a profit off of it and live your life out.
Yeah. Go back with lottery numbers or whatever, and then like
because if they do, because let me put it this way for you. If they do believe you, it ain't going to help you anymore. If they do believe you, then they know you travel from the future.
I feel like
they're going to lock you up again. They're going to lock you up, and they're going to keep you.
Yeah, I feel like the only sane way to know that you travel from the past or the future, that you have to talk to your past or future self. That's the only way.
Why?
I mean, no, that's the only way.
I'm not
asking why.
No.
I mean, I'm not saying you have to. I'm saying that's the only way, though. Like, to prove that.
The only way.
That, like, for us right now, for present Lamb to believe in time travel, an older Lamb comes to me and comes like, hey,
here's my question. Why is somebody got to prove that they time traveled?
Oh, no, that's not what I'm
I'm getting at.
Oh,
but that was probably the gist of your deal is there's always somebody coming back from the future to the past, and then they got to prove that they're time travel. Why would anybody think that they need to prove that they're time travel? Why would you do that? Why?
I think it's just for the movie effects, for the dramatics, for the climax.
No, the problem. Let me tell you something. Anybody that comes from the future, and either they really do or they really don't. If anybody ever comes from the future and says they're a time traveler, then they belong in a mental institution, because that's just crazy on your part for even trying to tell somebody that you came from the future, because you're an idiot. Because you can't. It wouldn't do you any good. It wouldn't do you any good either way. Either lock you up in a mental institution, or the government's going to get you and use you for something else. So one of the two, you're doomed. So you better just keep it to yourself and enjoy your vacation in the past, and then move on.
I think we need to do the Tomorrow War. I think, like what you said, is right. Like, we come back to the past, right? We don't want anybody. We just come to like, hey, we know the virus or the aliens are gonna come, but we don't tell anybody like to warn them. We're just gonna handle it ourselves. You know what I mean? Let's just say at this timeline, right?
I'm not.
No. I'm saying like me and Shane knows like, oh, they're coming on 2024 this and this time. The future and the people from like, I don't know, 30 years from now comes to this time, right? They don't interact with any one of us, and they just do exactly what you just said. Hey, don't tell anybody. We know what's going to happen. We don't have to warn anybody. We're just going to take care of ourselves, and no one will ever know. It could be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Or you could
like what
start
you
you a
said.
secret cult. Or you could start you a secret cult and start preparing to stop them. You can start your own little Men in Black or something.
Or that maybe Men in Black is a. Oh, they did do the Men in Black time travel movie. It was the third one.
Because if you are going to tell, because if you're going to tell anybody about time traveling, the best people to tell people are the crazy people, anyways, because they'll believe you and they're gullible enough to follow you, and you can get some done.
Or
So
the
you got to use the
people,
crazy people that you got in the past.
or the
Yeah.
weak-minded people who
Oh,
actually
don't go get
join
sane people.
cult. You know, that's those are
Yeah.
the people.
Yeah,
Like,
you need the people. That's what I'm saying. And there's a lot of those people. There's a lot of people like that. Get on the internet. You can find those people.
that is true.
That's what I do.
Wow.
I would be a cult,
So
and everybody be swore to secrecy.
the other question, right? Have you ever dreamed of something and then later in the future you're like, I feel like I dreamed about this before? Like, have you ever had that feeling
Oh
happen?
yeah, I think that. Oh yeah, a lot. That happens a lot.
So dreaming of past events that you witnessed is the same thing, right? With that, like I said before, it was deja vu for Colt to see him being killed as a kid.
Well, he thought it was deja vu. He thought it was deja vu, but it wasn't deja vu. It happened to him.
Yeah, it did happen.
If it's
He
if it's
saw
deja
something
vu,
happen. He just didn't know it was him at the
deja
time.
vu is yeah. Well, he couldn't really remember it. Yeah, I guess he didn't know it was him, but he does remember seeing a shooting in the
Someone
airport.
got shot.
And he
Yeah.
remembers what the lady looked like. He remembers what that lady running towards him looked like. So when he saw her in front of the mirror, he's like, "Oh, I might have a problem here."
I know. Oh, I
Because
guess
he's wearing that Hawaiian shirt and everything. He's wearing the same thing that guy wore because she got those clothes for him.
right. So this is one of those times where the going to the past won't change the future. Whatever's going to happen is still going to happen.
Yeah, but see, and the thing is, they gave him the gun so he could shoot it. But I think that's more for the audience because see, the audience now is sitting there going, "Oh, I hope he kills that guy before he gets killed." So I'm like, he's not going to. Okay, we already know it won't happen.
So
all he's doing is reliving something he's already seen.
So I can put this movie in the category of where the bad guy wins at the end. Because we never seen the outcome of the scientist lady or not. We just know whatever happens is going to happen.
It.
So the protagonist never actually wins in this movie. And
well,
I said before
me,
where
this
like
movie's just
it's a lot of movies that where the bad guys,
win
at the end.
Well, the bad guy, I'm not going to say the bad, yeah, but the problem is the bad guy could never win and the good guy could never win. There wasn't really a bad guy. There was nothing. This movie was just a movie. It's just here, I'm going to tell you a little story. It's not really going anywhere. Because he didn't really go anywhere. He went and did his job, but he did do his job. Actually, in a way, you could say the good guys won because he did locate.
He did locate the
information
that they need to seek. He was able to pinpoint where the virus and who they need to go to.
Yeah, because he couldn't make a cure.
No, because the
that
story,
wasn't his job.
The history
his
to that
was
time,
just to figure,
it was that like, the 12 monkeys released the virus.
Yeah.
And then maybe
so if you want to say the good guys won because his job was to find the virus.
So we both agreed that like it was because Cole went back, and then maybe it was 12 monkeys, but it's because the way that Cole came back, he turned to that.
But it don't matter now. No. Yeah. See, the thing is, this is one of those movies where everything at the end, it didn't matter what he did. He found where the virus is. So now all they had to do was just track the virus from there. Right. So there, he won. And the getting shot and stuff, that was always going to happen. That getting shot there was always going to happen.
Getting shot was going
to happen. But all that proves is all that proves though is the little kid of himself was already an alternate reality there too. So, if you see your future self get killed, then I guess you're not real.
Yeah, but then
you're not the original you.
Yeah, but only you and I, like the audience, know that. Like the kid in that scenario, he just saw an older man get shot. That's all he knew.
Yeah, but now at the end, he knows he's not he's an alternate.
Whew, that's crazy. That's such a crazy.
Because if he's already been in that timeline, then that means that timeline's a new created timeline.
Yes. So not everything is a loop. from this
Yeah.
movie. It feels like this movie is trying to give you everything is
Oh
like
well. Let me
likable.
put it this way. This was better. This was better than Looper. Okay, this movie was way better than
See,
Looper.
I don't remember Looper. That's the thing. Like, what is? I can't remember Looper,
Oh,
which Bruce Willis also in.
it was a worst. Yeah, it was a worst 12 Monkeys is what it was.
So this 12 Monkeys movie is
Which
not that bad.
it's not that good either.
It's such a hard.
I
It's not
mean,
that. It's
let me put it this
so
way.
when we say
It's
things
as
is
far as
not
time
that
travel
good and
movies.
not that
Let me
bad.
put it this
Is
way.
it good?
If you want to watch all right, let's put it this way.
Okay.
No, this is not a time travel movie you'd ever have to see. If you didn't see 12 Monkeys, you didn't lose nothing.
Okay.
That's all I got to say. This is a
Is
movie.
that a
It's
movie
okay
where
movie,
if
but it's
you
not a movie that you have to see.
is that a movie
You
that
don't
if
have
you
to
don't
see this
see,
movie.
what is a must see time travel movie?
Back to the Future.
But
Back to
then
the Future.
Back to the Future
It don't
science
matter
is
with it
worse
doesn't
than
matter
this.
because it keeps going. It could have a bigger story. This story begins and ends in this movie.
Which is good, right? We don't need a 12 Monkey sequel. Don't you agree?
I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, we don't need a 12 Monkey sequel. Like it should be
No, we
good
most
where
definitely. You
hey,
can't make a sequel to this.
I just thought like, hey, let's just say Back to the Future was only one movie. It would still be great.
Oh,
We
it'd
don't
be
need
awesome.
the second. Yeah, we don't need the second or
We
the
didn't
third
need that
one.
sequel.
It's
We
kinda
didn't
like-
even need that ending.
So it's kind of like the Matrix. After the first one, we don't need anything else.
Yeah, we didn't need anything. But with 12 Monkeys, no, you can't. I wouldn't want to see a sequel. I mean, this story begins and ends in this movie, and it's
Right.
just a story. It's just a little story. It's just got time travel elements to it, but it didn't really affect anything. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't blind mowing. It didn't make you happy. It didn't make you want to be dressed like Michael J. Fox. Didn't make you want a DeLorean. Didn't make me want anything. Just made me go, huh?
Well,
I'll never have to watch
hold
this
on.
movie again.
I wouldn't say that's a fair statement to say. Like, it doesn't make you want anything, right? But we're older. But when we watch Back into the Future, right, we were a lot younger when we were kids that we want those certain
Okay.
things.
All right. Well, let me tell you what 1990 Shane would have said when he saw this.
Okay.
I am not wearing a plastic bag, okay? I'm not wearing a see-through plastic bag. I'm not wearing Ziploc bags around.
I don't want to be an inmate that had to be volunteered to go
I'd be
back in
like,
time.
I don't know. It's not, this movie is not Back to the Future. This movie is not Blade Runner. This is not The Matrix. This movie is not, I guess I was hyped up too hyped up. I don't know what the thing is. The movie is like a big deal. And I watched it and I thought, this is just a regular run-of-the-mill sci-fi movie that has no bearing on anything.
Okay. Fair enough. That's good.
Or
You know
you're
what?
nothing to me.
I don't feel anything particular about this movie. It's not like, oh, you have to watch 12 Monkeys. Like,
Okay, yeah, let me put it this way. This is just a little bit better than Frighteners to me, okay?
oh, this is better than The Frighteners. It's the Frighteners movie that make me think about my Ghost movie, and then it's also this movie that think about the rulers at the timeline. The separate timeline.
Yeah, you cut out.
I know. I could tell that your internet's going in and out because your freeze frame. But like besides that, this movie is I can't say it's good. Can't say it's bad. It just
I'm not gonna help you with that.
Yeah, I know
it's
it's so tough. Like, it's
not a bad
okay.
movie. It's just like I said. It's just not amazing either.
Well, you know what? Then we're just gonna leave it at that, and we're gonna cut this short so we can see.
I guess the problem is when we were gonna watch it, I guess I expected more. I don't know why.
Oh, it's just time travel elements. Is that what did it for you?
Yeah, because it's supposed to be such a time travel movie, and I guess I just thought it was just kind of, okay, this is cool. It's not as great as
It's not as great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as mind blowing. I thought it was going to have like some kind of time travel element that just blow my socks off. But wow,
Oh
never
no!
thought of it.
I would
Never
have
seen anything.
I
that
would have
way.
told you that, but like, no,
I mean,
it
come
doesn't have
on.
anything like that.
Yeah, I tell you, the movie had a good time travel element. It's like Endgame. That's time travel.
Oh, Endgame has the best time travel element. It's
Yeah,
the
but there's been a
best
lot.
one
There's
I've
other,
seen so
but
far.
there's been other movies had at least had something is interesting or neat to you. This one, it was okay. It's
You know
just-
what? I feel like Primal was better than this, the time travel element.
I think I think the idea in Primer was better. Just the movie wasn't better.
Yeah. So hold on. Before we go, right? There's something that
Okay.
we never questioned how they time travel. We just accepted it. That was it. Like
No,
there's no
I didn't really
machine.
accept that. I thought I talked to you about them.
No, you said they went into a wall, but then we didn't build up on that. It's just like, okay, he went back to the past. We don't see how or
And then,
nothing.
yeah, and then sometimes he just disappears. She'll be looking away, and he's gone.
It's
So
like the
I'm
Matrix, right? Like you pick up the phone and like, okay, he's back.
I mean, they
into
didn't have the time.
whatever.
Really tell us because nobody's going to tell us. But I mean,
No.
pushing somebody in a wall.
That's how he went in his time, but like they never explained how he was extracted back. Like there's no warning. Like okay, I only have 36 hours at this time before I'm pulled back. It just suddenly they do that whenever they want to. Like he was locked away in a solitary confinement in the nut house, and then he just disappeared. You know?
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
they never questioned it. I'm like, okay. And then the second time, they were at the woods, right? And then he just disappeared.
Yeah, he's
just
just splashing in the water and disappears.
Yep. There's no warning where like, hey, it's kind of like if you and I were the scientists, right? Like, hey, we need to check on Cole. Let's just pull him back. It's just whatever we want to do. Oh. Well, you know what? This movie is no big deal, no small deal, not the best, not the worst. We don't need to put this on the Howard the Duck scale.
No, it doesn't belong there.
It doesn't belong there. So eventually we'll come up with a chart. Is it Howard the Duck? Is it Fifth Element? Is it, one of the best movies of all time?
Like I don't know.
Prestige?
I mean, I guess we could just say I don't know. It's a 90s movie.
It's a 90s movie that was okay at the time.
Yeah, just something to make some money.
Well, with that, we're outie, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for tuning in for this episode of Tensai Reviews. If you like what you heard, give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you on the next one.